Hey, when I first got COVID about a month ago, Therese told me it's going to take me 6 weeks to get better, 3 weeks to get rid of the COVID, and 3 weeks after to stop being tired. So I'm still moving toward the end, and I'm still only going to be here for a little while. But I've been getting ready for an interview, and I've been pulling out a whole bunch of different poems that I had written over the years, and I actually could make some corrections. So I'm going to start with the first one I ever had commercially published, cashing a check. The I saw this wonderful line in a column in a motorcycle magazine. The mind writes checks that the body can't cash. The vision that many from the old neighborhood have of me is short and thin, with a Pepsi in one hand and a cigarette in the other. Others will remember me as taller and thin, hitting a jumper from the corner or throwing a no-look pass to a cutter. Others will picture me at the end of the bar in a broad show with a one pack of Paul Malls and a half-finished beer in the bar. John Gibson's I Can't Stop Loving You on the jukebox. Pat, one more and you get a chance. Age has taken the jumper. Diabetes has taken a Pepsi. Common sense has taken the cigarette and booze. I am older and wiser and hopefully more tolerant. I'm satisfied with my life, but to just be able to once more fake the man guarding me and go up with a jumper and get nothing but net, to be able once more to cash that check. And then shortly thereafter, that what got me into all this, Bukowski and me. I've told the story many times before, but we'll do it again. I just tell stories and call it poetry. I never liked poetry, although I studied it as an English literature major in college. I never saw the point. I was a published writer, a reporter, a columnist, a reviewer, and author of books, over 2,500 pieces, but not a poet, not even not a writer of poet, not even a reader of poetry for 44 years. Since then, thousands of poems written, hundreds of them published in magazines, 12 books or chapbooks published, bookcases full of poetry books. What changed all of this in my life? I was coming out of a restroom at a Barnes and Noble, walking down an aisle when I saw a book with a very strange title. I picked it up and took it back to my table. Yeah, it was a book of poetry by Charles Bukowski. I read it anyway. I was doomed. I recognized immediately that Bukowski was an alcoholic, a misogynist, more than a bit of a nut, fucking brilliant. And he made me want to try my hand, so I did. If you dislike my writing, blame it on Bukowski. He was profanity too. If you like it, then say a prayer for his eternal soul. You might include mine as well. And then one that when I was in the service years ago, Oklahoma weather. Forever and a day ago, too many years to count, I was in Lawton, Oklahoma in the Army. Many New Yorkers were with me and found many reasons to complain. One of the constant complaints was the weather. We'd never seen anything like it. The temperature could swing 30 to 40 degrees in a few hours. If the wind across the plains was coming up from Mexico, hot as hell. If down from Illinois, cold as that witch's fit. We even had a name for it, fucking Oklahoma weather. 2 years ago, fucking Oklahoma weather came to New York and has stayed. And then I have one that talks about some history. Important people. Over the years, through no fault of my own, I've been around many important people. I've held Eleanor Roosevelt's coat, lit Gordon McRae's cigarette, talked baseball with Casey Stengel, talked football with Weeb Eubank, exchanged pleasantries with Pearl Bailey, basked in the presence of Lena Horne, interviewed Steve Jobs, discussed history with Arthur Schlesinger Jr., been in the room with Lauren Bacall, fantasized about my late father with ex-New York City Mayor Bob Wagner, talked writing with George Plimpton and David Halbstrom, speculated about technology with Bill Gates, talked basketball and politics with Governor George Pataki. But the most important person with whom I ever been with and spent time with is Barbie McMullen, my wife of 43 years. Thank you very much for putting up with me. I'll just be here a little longer.